สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับฮัลโหลครับโอเคครับสวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับฮัลโหลครับ
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Tonight we'll start differently tonight. We have some questions from Sri Lanka, from Samanji. There are about 7 questions that she asked, and I will try to answer them now. First, I have to get to a question and read it to you. Okay, you can hear me, right? Okay,
right we can hear you
all right. I'll start with Samanji question from Sri Lanka. There are 7 questions in all. The first one is, could you please define I? Who or what is I? Does I mean mind or body? Actually, there's no I, no me, no mind. It's just a mental fabrication or mental fantasy created by the delusion or ignorance of the mind. The mind is just a knowing element that contains the ability to feel, to remember or to perceive, to think, and to connect with a body, to receive the sensual objects coming into contact with the sensual organs of the body. So in reality, there is no I in the mind or there is no I in the body. The mind is just a knowing element, while the body is the composition of the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. So this is what the mind and body is. The composition, the body is composed of the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind, while the mind is the knowing element connected to the body. But the mind has delusion. It creates an I and then think that it is I. And when it has a body, it thinks the body is I or mine. It's just mental fabrication, no basis of truth. Because in truth, there is no I. They are just elements, knowing element, earth, water, fire, and wind element. Second question, what is the Buddhist definition of death? When does a person actually die? Is it when the brain is dead or when the heart is dead? According to the Buddha, he taught his assistant Ananda how to contemplate on death. He said, Ananda, when you breathe in and when you don't breathe out, you die. Or when you breathe out and you don't breathe in, you die. So death is the cessation of breath, of breathing. When the body stops breathing, that's when death happens, according to the Buddha. Third question, people are dissatisfied with their lives and complain constantly about the outside world and attribute their unhappiness to causes from outside world, either a family member, office colleague, or the ruling government. Should the Buddhists behave in this manner? No, this is delusion to blame this or that person or thing to cause you this dissatisfaction or dukkha. When in reality, the nature of these things are actually causing dissatisfaction. Everything in this world is under the law of the three characteristics of existence, namely impermanent, causing dukkha or suffering, and anatta, having no self, having nobody running things. Everything is run by nature. So if one can understand that the outside world that we live in subjected to the law of the three characteristics of existence. Everything in this world is subjected to the law of change or impermanent. Everything keeps changing. Everything rises and ceases eventually. And nobody can stop this process. Our dissatisfaction comes from the fact that we want to keep them from not changing. We want to control them. We want to keep things that we have. And when we cannot keep them, we become dissatisfied. So Buddhists are taught to reflect on the three characteristics of existence, especially dealing with the body. The Buddha teaches Buddhists to always contemplate on the nature of the body. That once the body is born, it is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. And no one can stop this process. If you want to stop it, you will have dissatisfaction or disappointment. And this is everything, not just the body. Everything you see, you hear, you feel, you touch are all the same thing. They are all impermanent. They are subjected to change and to dissolution or disappearance. If you want to keep them, you will be dissatisfied when they disappear from you. So this is what Buddhists should behave or should think about things. Blame yourself for your ignorance to expect things around you to keep you satisfied, because nothing in this world will keep you satisfied for long. Because everything in this world keeps changing. Everything sooner or later will disappear. Will come to cessation. So this is the way we should look at things and stop our clinging or attachment to them by finding a different way of making us satisfied. That is the way of the Buddhist meditation practices, the way of charity, morality, and meditation. This will bring true satisfaction to us. Nothing else can. Okay, the fourth question. We consider Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha as the triple gem. Here, who does the Sangha represent? The monks who are living today, or the arahants living during the time of the Buddha. The Sangha here means the noble disciple, the Arya Sangha, living in the present, because we cannot connect with those who pass away except through their teaching, if they have any recorded teaching left. Like the Buddha's teaching still in existence. We can access the Buddha through studying the teaching of the Buddha in the Tripitaka, or studying the teaching of some of the noble disciples or teachers who passed away, but still have their teachings recorded. Otherwise, you have to depend on the living noble disciple to give you the proper instruction. So the Sangha means the noble disciple, those who have attained to at least the first level of attainment, a Sotapanna, or a Sakidagami, Anagami, or Arahant. These are considered to be noble disciples and noble Sangha. These are the Sangha in the Triple Gem. Not those monks who ordain and still possessed with defilement and not yet enlightened. They are not considered to be the Sangha in the Triple Gem. Question number 5. As I know, psychology divides the mind into 4 categories: superconscious mind, conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. How does this explanation and psychology contradict with the Buddhist teaching of the mind? As I have read, Buddhism does not compartmentalize the mind, but focuses on the Jetisika. Could you explain? According to my understanding, the mind is called the knowing element. And this mind has ability to know. Besides this ability to know, it also has these 4 other abilities called khandas, nama khandas. In Pali, we call it Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Translation: Vedana means feeling, Sanya means perception or memory, Sankhara means thinking, and Vijnana is consciousness or awareness of the sensual objects that come into contact with the sensual organs of the body. This is the mind according to Buddhism. The mind itself is the knowing element, but within the knowing element there are four function or ability. Ability to feel, ability to remember or to perceive, to think, and to connect to a body, so that it can access the sensual objects such as images, sound, taste, smells, and tactile objects. This is the Buddhism interpretation of the mind. Number 6, what is the most meritorious offering? Dana, according to the Buddha. According to the Buddha said the best offering or gift is the gift of Dhamma. But before you give the gift of Dhamma, you have to look at the people that you give, what they need first. If they need food and you give them the gift of Dhamma, it won't be meritorious for them. It won't be beneficial for them, because they need food first to survive. So even though the gift of Dhamma is the best gift, you have to consider the people that you give what they need first. If they need housing, you should give them a house as a place to stay. If they need clothing, you should give them clothing, not giving the Dhamma teaching. So, but if you You find someone who wants to learn Dhamma, then you give them the Dhamma teaching. That's the best gift, because the Dhamma teaching can liberate the mind from suffering, complete liberation from suffering. Nothing else in this world can do that. So that's why the gift of Dhamma is the best gift of all. But you have to know the right person and the right time to give this best gift. Okay, number 7, last question. What are the external features of an arahant? Or how can we know whether a person is an arahant? By his outward behavior, as one's inward behavior or thoughts cannot be observed by an outsider. Well, there are 2 ways of determining a person whether he's an arahant or not. One is you have to wait for him to die, and then to see after cremation whether some fragments of his bone turn into stone or relics. If some of the fragment of his bones turn into relics or stone, then it means he was an arahant. Second way of knowing whether he's an arahant or not is to study with him, live with him and study with him, and learn from him and follow his teaching until you yourself can become an arahant. Once you become an arahant, then you can be sure that your teacher must be an arahant. These are 2 ways of judging whether a person is an arahant or not. Other way you cannot tell. An arahant can behave differently. One can be neat and clean, and one can be a little bit rough and dirty. But that doesn't mean that he's not an arahant. So his behavior cannot be judged whether he's an arahant or not. Okay, these are 7 questions from Samanji from Sri Lanka. I take the opportunity to answer it first because we might run out of time later on if we wait for after we all have talk or answer our questions. I hope this will satisfy her curiosity. Now we come back to our participant in the room to continue on with our conversation. And our first participant is Felicia Chan from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajaan. My practice so far so good. I don't have question at the moment. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay, we'll go to Kwan Lee Man, also from Malaysia.
Thank you, Ajaan. Ajaan, I'm still contemplating on death. Last week, another friend passed away. Before she passed away, for a few years, I see her getting thinner and weaker, and the body organs fail. So I'm contemplating on death, and I realized that perhaps it is more scarier not to practice hard enough and walk the Buddha's path and die, and having to be born again in the samsaric world. So this is what I'm contemplating every day, Ajaan.
Yes, it's good to contemplate, but it is also have to you will also have to find out for yourself whether you can rise above it or not. That is, can you not be affected by it? And what you need to be able to rise above the death of your body is 2 things. First, you need a mind calm, peaceful and calm with ubekkha or equanimity. Second, you have to understand and see that the body is just the work of nature, the composition of the 4 elements. There is no you or me or I in this body. If you can see this clearly, then what happens to the body will not cause you any sadness or fear.
Mm. Yes.
So you have to develop, try to see the body as four elements. No self, not yourself, not you, not me. It's like a tree. You just have to happen to come into possession of it, that's all. Now one day you will have to give it up. And the way to be able to give it up without any suffering is to keep your mind calm and peaceful with ubekkha or equanimity. So you have to practice a lot of meditation so that you can get into the fourth jhana.
Yes.
Okay.
Ajaan,
All right.
Ajaan, when we feel emptiness and peaceful and contented, that is not good enough. We should use the wisdom to contemplate and to go against the defilement by contemplate more on anicca, dukkha, anatta until we really see it and we see the non-self.
If you see that the body is yourself, then you can't help but attach to it, cling to it.
Mm.
Like if you see your car belongs to you, you will become attached to your car, right? But if you see your car as belonging to your friend, then you don't become attached to it.
Yeah. No.
So somehow you have to look at your body as not yours. That doesn't belong to you.
Mm.
It belongs to nature. It belongs to the four elements. So you have to look at the way how the body is made up, how it come about, how it came about, and how it will go in the end. It's all about the four elements coming together to form the body at the time of conception. And it's the four elements that keep feeding the body to grow. And one day the four elements will stop feeding the body and will separate, and the body will disappear. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, just keep contemplating on this. Just contemplating on death itself, it's just not deep enough. It is good to remind you that death will come one day, but you will have to see that what is dying is not you. What is dying is just the separation of the four elements.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dad. Yes, I will do that. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Brazil, Sao Paulo. Alfredo.
Hi, Bante.
How are you?
More or less, more or less.
Ubeka, equanimity.
But it's difficult.
That's my
Niroda,
name. Just my
Niroda
name.
needs what?
Just my name, Ubeka, by name, but not in real.
Niroda needs the noble truth, né, Bante? The eighth path, né, Bante?
Yeah, it needs the Maya.
Niroda is not simple, né, Bante?
You have to develop the Eightfold Path completely.
Yes. Yes.
So keep practicing.
I'm trying.
Keep practicing Sila. Keep practicing Sati, mindfulness. Keep practicing concentration, Samadhi. And then keep practicing wisdom, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta.
Yes.
Once you have all this together, then you can stop. You can get to Nirodha, cessation of suffering.
Yes. Niroda is completely, but is for all moments too.
It's for different levels. Sotapanna level, Sakidaka, level. There are four levels of cessation of suffering.
I imagine a lot Apana level, but Apana is other level, né? But is
that's samadhi. That's temporary cessation, not permanent cessation.
Yes. It's a instruction, né, Bante? The form of instruction.
The forward
Instruction.
instruction.
Instruction. Yes.
What do you mean by instruction? What?
The perfect of the moment.
The perfect of the moment.
Yes, I know Pekka is a good mind, né? But Anicca is not possible Pekka all moments, né, Bante? A bad feeling is gives with emotions, with bad emotions, né? But it's difficult bad feelings and good emotions.
Yeah, if you have samadhi, you only get temporary ubeka.
Yes.
You have to have wisdom to get permanent ubeka.
Yes. 7 level of Bojangas.
Yeah. Same thing as the Noble Eightfold Path.
Yes.
Okay, just keep practicing, okay?
Yes. The practice is more important than the theory, né, Bante?
Well, you need both. You don't have the right theory, you don't then you don't know what you're doing, whether what you do is right or not. You need a roadmap, and then you need to travel on that road with that roadmap. When you go on a trip, you usually have a map with you, right? And you don't know the place where you go. Nowadays, you have Google to tell you that.
Yes. Thanks for you and Buddha, Bante, for teaching us.
Okay, good. You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks.
Keep practicing.
Thanks.
I'll go to New Zealand now. Anura and Ramya. Why late for you? 2 o'clock?
Good evening, Ajaan. Sorry?
2:01. How late is it? 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
Yeah, just after 1 o'clock.
1:25.
Yeah, we woke up a bit early today. Yeah. How are you, Ajaan? So thank you for your teaching, Ajaan. So I have a question. This is regarding the forgiveness and karma. So if one makes a bad action and does something bad to another person and create bad karma, and then that person asks forgiveness from the other party, and then the other party say, yeah, I forgive you. In that instance, what would happen to the bad karma? Would that cancel, or would that stay the same?
The bad karma stay the same. You still have to reap the fruit of your bad karma. But what you don't get is enmity between your adversary. Your adversary turns to be your friend if he forgives you, then he doesn't consider you to be his adversary anymore. So there will be no fight between you two. But the law of karma still works.
Yeah.
But at least you don't extend your enmity, you don't extend your bad karma further. If each side doesn't forgive each other, then you will continue fighting.
Yeah, I think one way to overcome is you forget about if someone does bad thing to you, just let it go, and then without thinking about forgiveness. So does forgiveness comes in Buddhism? Because I think it's more Christianity concept. So has Buddha ever talked about forgiveness?
Well, forgiveness is part of the loving kindness function.
Yeah.
The Buddha said, you have to love everybody.
Yeah.
And if you love everybody, then you have to forgive them for their wrongdoing. Don't take grudges. Don't hold grudges. Let bygone be bygone. This is on the part of the one who is being hurt, like you. If someone hurt you, and you don't want to continue to be hurt, then you forgive them. When you forgive them, then this hurtful feeling will disappear, or this sense of revenge will disappear, and then you have peace back. This is the purpose on yourself, not on someone who did wrong to you.
Yeah.
Someone who did wrong to you, if they come and ask for your forgiveness or not, it doesn't matter so much to you whether they come and ask or not. But since you're gonna forgive them anyway, right? For your own sake.
Yeah.
You want to have peace of mind, you have to forgive and forget. But I think I'm not sure why there is this tendency or this belief that one has to ask for forgiveness. You know, even though sometimes one didn't do anything wrong to that person, but it becomes just a practice, you know,
Yeah.
customary practice,
Yeah.
which doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You only ask forgiveness, or you admit your guilt. When you ask forgiveness, you actually admitting your guilt.
Yes.
And this is good, because if you can admit that it's bad, that you did wrong, then it means that you probably won't want to do it the next time. That's the purpose of,
Yes.
of admitting your guilt, not asking forgiveness from the person that you did something wrong. But you want to admit your guilt by telling the person you're sorry for doing this. You'll try not to do it again the next time. This is the purpose of asking for forgiveness.
Right.
But whether you get for forgiveness or not, it depends on the person who you hurt, right? The person might not give you forgiveness if it's not generous enough.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is, at least you admit your guilt and you will try not to do it again. So you won't repeat the same mistake again the next time. That's the purpose of confessing, really.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very clear. Yeah. Thank you, Ajaan. Thank you. It's understood. Yeah.
Dr. Claudia from Germany, Nuremberg.
Good afternoon from Germany, Ajaan. No questions today.
Okay. Are you moving soon?
We got the rental contract for our apartment from September 1st,
I see.
and we will move between, I think, about September and November, so step by step, little by little.
Hmm. Takes a lot of possession still to move with you. Be like a monk. Be like a monk. Just take just the requisite with him. A monk can go anywhere very easily, quickly.
Yes, I tried to take, or we tried to take with us only what's necessary. We already try to get rid of what's not necessary, and also give it for social welfare, and yeah.
Give it to charity.
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. We'll go to Alvin now from Malaysia.
Good evening, Canada. I don't have any question today. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. From Malaysia, also from Philip.
Good evening, Ajaan. I wish you well. I don't have any questions. Glad to be listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Go to Penang, Malaysia, also Christine Koe.
Good evening, Ajaan. I have no question. Thank you.
Okay. Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajaan. I have no questions too. Just happy to be listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Tipawan from Idaho, USA.
Would you please read question 1 to 4 from someone that asked you from, I think it's Sri Lanka, because I came to the session late.
I think you have to watch it later. I don't want to do the same thing for again. You know, it's already gone. You have to wait and watch this program later on. Okay, so I won't wasting time doing the same thing again. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's all right. Thank you. I thought about that too, but I don't see many questions here. That's why I purposed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go to Julia Uden from Sweden.
Ajaan. Yes, I have a question also about this topic of forgiveness. So I admitted an error, which was very hard for me to admit to my other teacher, Ajaan Jeff. And I didn't get like a response, or yeah, I think I would have expected a response or some kind of encouragement for the fact that I admitted this error, but there was just nothing. So can you help me understand this? Like why, when you admit your mistake to an Ajaan, should you expect some kind of encouragement, or that's not?
No, you don't need to expect anything. It's your part. You just do your part to clear your mind. That's all. As far as the other person, you don't know how they feel or react to your confession. So you have to. You don't need to for them to reply really. To say, okay, I forgive you, or something like that. It's not important. The important is to recognize your guilt and try not to do it again.
Thank you.
And should that person, if he is angry, then he should forgive, because by forgiving he can get rid of his anger. But if he has no anger, he might not feel like replying or doing anything. Because he knows that it's just your part to do this. It's not his part to do anything else. Or maybe the communication might not got to him either, or he might not have read the email yet. So there might be many possibilities why the person didn't reply to your email, to your letter. But if you expect something, then you can be disappointed or unhappy when you don't get what you expected. So try not to expect anything from anybody.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Is that all? Okay. We'll go to Belinda from Singapore.
Hello, Ajaan. Same question, just extension. Forgiveness and trusting again.
Forgiveness and what again?
Trust. To trust the person again. Sometimes some mistakes make, and it feels like we forgive the person, but we don't trust the person again. And they want to stay away.
Forgiveness doesn't mean not trust or trust. It's a different thing. See? You shouldn't trust anybody really if you don't want to be disappointed. So never trust anybody. If you trust, then you have to be ready to expect any disappointment that can arise from your trusting other person. If you don't want to be disappointed, then don't trust anybody. Take them at their face value.
How about trusting the self?
I don't know what you mean. If you don't trust yourself.
You trust our judgment call. You trust what we make, our choice and things like that.
If you don't trust, then you don't make that choice. So you trust your choice, right? But it could be wrong choice, but you trust it anyway.
We trust, and then we
pay
embrace
for the consequence. You pay
we embrace the risk or whatsoever we call the consequences, and then we learn from it, right, Ajaan? I'm not sure. So I feel if I don't feel trust, I feel distress. Like in any friendship or relationship, some level of trust that we feel safe with the person, or so to some extent we take that risk, right, Ajaan?
Well, if you want to take that risk, is your
trusting, as in like we trust that the people. I don't know. I feel confused about this.
You trust other people because you have to rely on them to deliver. But if you can live in a way that you don't have to rely on anybody, then you don't have to trust anybody. if you can rely only on yourself and nobody else, and you don't have to trust anybody.
Like right now I talk to Tanajan, I trust Tanajan will not. If Tanajan say anything that may sound hurtful, but Tanajan doesn't have any intention to hurt, it is all to help. So the kind of trust that I have, like when I relate to a teacher.
Well, that's your business. That's your business.
Okay.
The Buddha said the best thing is not to trust anybody. If you don't want to be disappointed. But if you trust, then you have to take that risk. But you can trust the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Noble Sangha as far as the teaching is concerned. The teaching are true, and they are not fake, and it leads to results that you can prove for yourself. This is what trust means to the triple gem. You trust the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha for their integrity, and they are not liars. What they say are truthful, and you can benefit from what they tell you to do. If you follow their teaching, you will benefit from their teaching. This you can trust. But
And I trust that.
If you trust an unenlightened person, you don't know, because unenlightened person are still under the control of the defilement of greed, hate, and delusion. So you don't know whether they speak truly or not. Maybe two other person you can trust is your parent, your father and your mother, because they brought you into this world and they raised you. So they have love for you. So you can trust them. That they won't hurt you. Okay. But in America, on the dollar bill, they say, "In God we trust." But they never go to church to find God. They go to the casino to find God in the casino, because that's what the dollar bills are, right? Okay, just kidding.
I contemplate what Tanajan said. Thank you, Tanajan.
Next, Diana from Wales.
Greetings, Tanajan. I've been thinking about mindfulness and the foundations of mindfulness. And I think the one that I struggle with the most is mindfulness of the mind, because my mind tells me that if I want something and I say, "Oh, I don't need it," then something in my mind will go, "Oh yes, but it'll be useful."
Before you can go to that level, you need to have a tool to deal with it. And the tool you have to develop is mindfulness and wisdom. So you are outreaching yourself. You should be mindful of just the body first. Keep watching the body all the time to get concentration. And then after you have concentration, then study the nature of the body first until you can truly understand the body, and then let go of your attachment to the body before you can move to the sensation and to the mind eventually.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Start lower down.
Yeah, start from the elementary classes first before you go to the secondary, and then eventually to the highest level. Because each level is much more difficult than the previous ones. Study the body is easier than study the sensation. Study the sensation is easier than study the mind. Takes more wisdom and mindfulness to do it.
I understand. Need more mindfulness at a lower level before I can be mindful of my mind.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Next, Billy from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajaan. Today I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you to Professor Ken, but I'm not sure whether he's here or not today.
I don't see him. I don't see him yet.
Okay, I just want to say thank you for sharing the information about the autopsy life and death videos. And I found there is this video about aging whereby there are two living naked models, females. One is young and one is old, and I think it is very good for my source of contemplation. I mean, I never thought of finding a image of a naked old lady as for Asubha contemplation, Tanaja. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. We'll go to Bangkok now from Ravin B. Ravin.
Hi, good evening, Prajan. Tonight I have a question regarding the law of karma. So normally if we do good or bad karma, we have to reap the benefits or the consequences. But my question is, why is it that if we've committed bad karma, but if we attain sotapanna or a higher level, we do not have to fall to a lower state and pay the consequence of that karma? Is it because our mind is elevated to a level that cannot fall back to doing bad karma? Or is it just because we are able to escape it? Just a question.
Well, you have to find out that for yourself better. I don't think I can give you an answer on that. Okay.
Yeah, because I read in a book, and it said if you attain a noble disciple level, you close the door on the 4 lower realms of existence.
Yes, because you see, the mind is the one that puts itself to the 4 lower realm of existence. So once it can control the mind, then it can stop the mind from going toward that direction by maintaining the 5 precepts, by not doing any bad karma. Whether this can reverse the consequence of the old bad karma or not, I don't know, but it seems that's what it means. But you can see how how the mind can fall into the lower realm of existence. And now you know how to stop it by keeping the precept, by not doing any more bad karma. So that when you die, you will not let the mind go down to the lower realms of existence. That's about all I can say. But what the Sotapanna will not do is not do any more bad karma, because he knows that the cost of going to the 4 lower realm of existence is caused by the bad karma that he does. So he doesn't do it anymore. So he doesn't fall down to the lower realm of existence. Okay.
Yes, Prajan. So yeah, so basically it just means that if we keep the precepts and we don't do any bad karma, and we are able to attain a level of noble disciple, we will not fall back into those states anymore, regardless of any bad karma that we've done in the past.
Well, see, keeping the precept doesn't mean that you won't do any bad karma. You might be keeping the precept, but when you attempt it, you might not keep the precept. And if someone have a birthday celebration and give you a drink and you say, well, today is a special occasion, so I'll take a drink. But if you're a Sotapanna, you will not take it. You won't take a drink at all, regardless of the situation. And if a Sotapanna should somehow fall into the situation in which he has to kill in order to live, like fishing or killing animals for survival, he wouldn't do that. He would accept that rather than killing someone to maintain his life. That's the Sotapanna. Because he sees life as impermanent already. It's gonna end anyway. So why incur a cost of bad karma to just extend your life a little bit longer? Which eventually this body gonna end anyway, right? So it's not worth it to kill to survive for Sotapanna. But for an ordinary being, you will still kill to preserve your life, even though just for a few days, a few months, or a few years, right? But that's because you don't know the consequence of killing and cause to your mind. A Sotapanna can see this, see that killing or doing bad karma can cause the mind to go to the lower realm of existence. So he would rather let the body die rather than preserve it by killing to maintain it. So it doesn't do any bad karma. So when there's no bad karma, to pull him down to the lower realm of existence. Okay.
Yes, Prajan. So it just means that because he can see the consequence of bad karma, he would never allow himself to do it because he knows what will happen if he does.
Like when you see a bottle of poison, do you want to pour it into your mouth?
No.
You know the consequence of it, right? It's the same way of a Sotapanna. You see bad karma like a poison to his mind.
I see. And since he sees the body as not belonging to himself, he has no regret of just letting it go.
That's right. There's no need to preserve it by doing that, by pouring poison into yourself.
Wow, that's actually very useful, Prajan. I never looked at it from that perspective, but you actually answered my question very clear now. Okay. I will keep trying, I will keep working on meditation so I can keep the precepts more, because living in the sensual, there's always, a lot of things that can trick our mind into doing things that are unmoral. And I realized that over the past few weeks, there have been a few occasions where I've let slip a few times. So I realized that, I need to have more mindfulness to avoid falling into that trap again.
And more wisdom also.
Yes. So thank you for reminding me, Prajan. I will try to be more mindful and develop more wisdom.
All right. So go to Vancouver now. 3 and check.
Ajaan.
Hello, Ajaan.
Like just now you said the Buddha said don't trust anybody except for the triple gem. My understanding is like the triple gem doesn't have kilesa, and then like other than the triple gem, everyone has kilesa, so we don't trust any kilesa.
Except your father and mother. even though they have kilesa, but to you they have no kilesa toward you. They only have loving kindness toward you, compassion. If they have any kilesa, you probably won't survive. And when they get angry, they'll kill you.
So
but they squash the defilement when they have to deal with you. Every time they get angry with you, they'll forgive you. They won't do anything. They might hurt you though sometimes if they cannot stop their anger.
So it's our father and mother is our Arahant, Ajahn.
That's right. That's what we call them. Arahant.
Yeah.
They are our noble disciple, noble Sangha.
And just now you the question from Samanji about I think just you say about what's the most meritorious
Offering
thing.
or dana.
Yeah.
Sharing.
And more like when I hear most answer is always like the Dharma, and then it just stopped right there. But you elaborated that is Dharma is the most meritorious give, but at the same time, if like people need food or they need clothing, you give. So it's very practical. I think like it's very practical that you don't, even though it's the most meritorious, but if somebody needs food, you give food, right?
That's right, because some people are stupid and they thought, oh, I want to give Dharma teaching and nothing else, because that's so you have to elaborate a little bit. I know there are some people like that, you know, they'll follow strictly to the word you say.
That's exactly. And then I find that you're so practical, like real, like that's the real Dharma. It's like practical, right? Ajahn, like when
just like some people, they have that giving robe is the best requisite to give to monks, so they just keep buying robes and nothing else. Sometimes you need medicine, or sometimes you need housing. You don't get, you just get robe from them. So before you're giving something, you have to look at the need of the people that you're giving, what they need. Most of all, first of all.
And it's better we ask, right, Ajahn? We can ask people like, what do you need? And then
usually you can ask, but people don't understand, because sometimes asking mom can be tempting their defilement, so it's discouraged not to ask mom. But actually you can, but you have to have some specific things you want to do, and ask them whether they can accept this or not. Like you want to buy me a car, you might say, can you use the car or not? You know, I might say, well, we don't need a car because we need something else. You can talk, you can do that.
Ajahn, my friend told me that recently Wat Yan just finished the renovation of eight.
Well, partially finished. There's still 2 more to be done. There are international pavilion built by different nationality of people residing in Thailand, foreigners who appreciate the king's effort in running the country, or helping running the country. And they want to give him a birthday gift on his 60th birthday. So they built a pavilion, each of their national characteristic. Chinese, Japanese, Indian, Swiss, and Thai. So there are about 8 pavilions in all. And they've been built 36 years ago. and it has been run down. So no one seems to be able to do anything about it. So I thought I try to do something and get some help, some people to help repaint and renovate, fix. So we have done five now, 2 more to go. One is done by somebody, other people already. So you must have seen the photographs. Did you see the photographs of the pavilions?
Yeah, she showed me the photograph, and I didn't see. I haven't seen that pavilion before, because you usually
See, in front of Ajaan there's a small lake, a small reservoir, and at the edge of the water, they built this pavilion
to like
commemorating, to give as a gift to the kings, the late king, the previous king, the Ramadan on his 60th birthday.
Oh, I see. Oh. The pavilion is for like tourists, Ajahn, like for the
Just a gift, just a gift. That's all.
Okay.
Because the king already had everything, so they don't know what to do. So they thought they might just build a pavilion
I see. Yeah.
to commemorate and to give us a souvenir, a remembrance.
Yeah.
But no one seems to take the responsibility to look after it once it's been built. It's been just left unattended.
Oh.
Because there was some technicality. The land that it was built on wasn't part of the monastery, so the monastery doesn't have the jurisdiction or responsibility to look after it. And the land that belong to a government agency which paid no attention to it, so it's been left abandoned more or less. Okay.
And Tan Ajahn, like, am I right to say that, like, for someone who has attained first level enlightenment, like Sotapan, he or she already know like the karma, even though there's a bad karma appear like in their mind, and also it won't affect them anyway, right? Because
when you start to think about killing, you already start feeling bad already. When you start to do any bad karma, it will like ring a bell in your mind. A bell in your mind will start ringing. This is not good for you because it will make you feel bad. And even after you have done it, you will feel really bad after you finish having done something wrong, right?
Yes.
Okay. This Sotapanna can see it very clearly because he is always watching the mind all the time now. So he can see the cause and consequence of the action and the consequence that will rise in the mind itself. When you do good karma, the mind will feel good. When you do bad karma, the mind will feel bad. So why you want to make yourself feel bad? So you stop doing it. You only do good karma, because every time you do good karma, you feel good.
Yeah. And Tan Ajahn, how about the bad karma that he or she has committed before he became a Sotapan? So if that bad karma appears, also doesn't affect them.
I can explain it in terms of physics, right? The bad karma that has been done accumulated is like potential energy. Potential energy and kinetic energy. There's two types of energy. Potential is something stored, not yet in action. Kinetic energy is energy that's in action. I think, if I remember it correctly. So karma has two. You have potential karma already stored back in your mind, and you have kinetic karma. And the kinetic karma can prevent the potential to come into action. I think something like that. Your knowledge of the bad karma and your strong mindfulness and wisdom can stop this potential karma from arising, from causing effect.
Oh, I see.
You have strong enough karma to stop mindfulness to stop the bad karma from showing consequences, from showing result. Because it's in your mind, see, and your mind now has the braking system that can stop these consequences.
Wow. Oh, I see.
Wow, Ajahn.
I don't know, since you asked, so I have to explain it. Like,
that's really cool. Wow.
Yeah. That helps. Like, you know.
it's like if you have a car running, this is like potential energy that keep pushing potential momentum or something that keep pushing the car forward. But if you have a good braking system, you can stop it, right? Stop the car from running. But if you don't have a braking system, you cannot stop it. It will take effect. It will keep running. It will keep crashing into something.
Yeah.
So when you practice mindfulness and wisdom, you're creating a braking system that will stop all your stored karma from coming to effect.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
So right now I don't have braking system.
No, you don't. So you go.
Yeah, but that helps a lot. The explanation. Thank you, Tanadan.
So you need, and what mindfulness and wisdom is the braking system. Mindfulness is a temporary braking system, and wisdom is a permanent braking system.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, love that analogy. And the poison analogy before too. Wow. Really, really.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tanadan.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Now go to Kate from Penang, Kate Genso.
Then, no questions. Yeah, listening. Yeah.
Okay, Indira from Toronto. Yeah, really gone working, I guess.
Good morning, Tanajan. Yes, he just had to see a patient. So, yes, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. I have a few questions. One thing is like a continuation about forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a must because for your own peace of mind, you know, because it's like holding on to a hot piece of coal, you get burned too. So you put it down and you have happiness, relief. So for your own peace of mind, you have to forgive that person. But reconciliation, like it's optional. It's up to you. If you don't want to be friends with that person, you can still forgive and be free, but you don't have to have a relationship or friendship thereafter. Is that right, Tanajan?
You can. It depends on whether you have to or not.
Yes, that's what I
like. If your family, your brothers and sisters, you might still have to have some connection. But
yes. But you can avoid if you want to.
If you have to avoid, you can avoid. If you find that it's harmful for you or not beneficial for both to come into contact, then you can avoid. You don't have to have any contact with that person.
Yes, because most important thing is to forgive and let go. And you can help in any way, but if you don't want to have contact again, and so it's okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, but if you somehow have to come into contact, you should show some courtesy, by saying
Yes.
hi or whatever.
Yeah.
But you won't get close to that person anymore.
Thank you, Tanajan. That's one thing. The second thing is trust. Now, there's that stanza which says, Arogya Paramalabha Santutti Paramandanang Viswasa Paramanyati Nibbana Paraman Sukhang. So Viswasa they say the best wealth is trust. So is that the trust of the Noble Triple Gem only?
I think so. If you want to get to Nibbana, you have to trust the Triple Gem because nobody else knows the path except them.
All right.
Don't trust the husband.
Yeah, because he can say one thing and do another thing.
Another minute, because as long as there are defilements.
Okay. And then I also have one more question. Actually two, but one. Mara, Tanajan. Now, is it a concept or is there a force sort of like, because there are types of Maras, they say, like in names. So, and also like why I'm asking this is I read your question and answer on karma and you said bad karma, because sometimes you see people like they do the most horrible things and they're okay. So I read in your question and answer, you said bad karma, like you get the results much earlier and then later for good karma. So I just wanted to ask you, like, does the Mara, like, because now in Buddhism with Dhamma, we are stopping cessation, but Mara wants to keep going. That's his plan. So that's why I asked you whether it's a concept or whether there is a force.
Real person.
Real person.
No, there's no real person. There's no Mara. I think it's been translated as the personification of evil.
Okay.
Evil itself is Mara.
Okay. Because in some
bad karma is Mara.
Yes.
I think Sankara Mara, I think it's also referred to as Sankara Mara, thoughts of Sankaras as a Mara.
Yes, because in some texts I have read Mara Divya Putra.
Yeah, they talk about Machu Mara, different kinds of Maras. I don't know.
Defilement can be called Mara also.
Mara,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mara that come and tempt the Buddha before his enlightenment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
These
all
are
right.
the sensual pleasures and
Anharati Ranga. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's more practical to think as defilements rather than actual person. I think they talk about the Mara Divya Putra, some kind of a God, but it doesn't really help our practice, right? I mean, we don't see it, we don't know, but at least if you know the defilements are Mara, I think that's quite helpful.
Easier way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they are really, defilement. But sometimes people don't understand what defilements are, so they have to form a person to explain what.
Okay.
This person, he acts like this. This is Mara.
Yes.
He's greedy, so this is Mara.
Yes. Yes, Tanajan, thank you. And the last question, now there were a lot of discussions about when someone becomes Sotapanna. Now, you don't do bad things after that, but the previous karma, I'm just asking you a couple of things that I have heard, but maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. Tanajan, about Maharatan Moggallana, there's a story that I have heard in Sri Lanka that some bandits came to attack him. A couple of times he used psychic powers and avoided, but later he came down. And so is that like, and I have read that it was some bad karma he had done in a previous birth that he had to pay for it. Is that true?
Yes. So there are two consequences of bad karma. One directly affecting the mind itself, the other affecting the body.
Yes. Okay.
The body can be, if you did something wrong, you killed somebody in your past life, this person might be reborn at the same time as you are and come back and kill you.
Yeah.
But this person can only kill your body, but cannot cause any consequence to your mind.
Right. Absolutely.
The consequence to your mind is only the action that you actually did before, the killing itself. But once you become an arahant, you can stop this consequence of bad karma to happen to your mind.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ajaan. I just wanted to confirm that too. Thank you.
Okay. So about you, Pia?
So I just I have these favorite Pali quotes. I keep contemplating a lot sometimes whenever, sometimes helpful to me. So for example, Netang Mama Netang Hamasmi, or Yankichi Samude Dhammang, Sabbanta Nirodha Dhammang, Iti Dumping Sati Dang Hoti, like the Paticcasamuppada. So these things are I'm very familiar. I keep contemplating. Is it something useful? I believe certain times it's useful for me because those are I feel the Pali terms are more powerful than reciting that in English or remembering or contemplating in English.
As long as you understand what you are contemplating or reciting, that's enough. That's good enough.
And
but
that
you have to understand the meaning of what you recite.
So it's like kind of shortening everything in a one-liner, so that everything summary come to me quickly, rather than just remembering whole of Dhamma, just one-liner, which kind of summarizes everything and just like grabs it in the neck, pretty much.
You can have a shorter one called Sabbe Dhamma Anatta. That summarizes everything. That's easier to understand. Sabbe Dhamma Anatta.
Anatta.
Everything is anatta.
Yeah.
No you, no me, no you, no me. Nothing belongs to you or me. Everything belongs to nature.
Yeah. They agree. I think the latest one is Netang Mama Neto Hamasi Nameso Attati. It's just like the five aggregates to see. Otherwise, you always see somebody in there. Like I'm in there. The body is I'm in here. Right? These are my feelings I'm expressing. These are my concepts I'm expressing. There's nothing, really no one. But it's a process.
Yeah, it's a function. But no one doing it. No person doing it. It's just thinking, it's just remembering, it's just feeling. That's all. Just knowing. No person behind. No thinker, no feeler, no rememberer. Just function. Just
there's
like
an
rain,
illusion of
just like raining, wind blowing. There's no one blowing the wind. There was no one causing the rain to rain. It's just their natural process.
It's a process. It just continues anyway, whether you are there or not, whether you think you are there or not.
Well, there's no you, but there's someone. There's the knowing that knows what's going on.
So the doer is the problem. The knower is okay. I mean, there's much as the
right. The doer or the reactor. Doing something or reacting to something. This is the wrong.
And that makes you think there is something. You're doer there. I'm in control.
Yeah. So you cannot control anything for long. You might be able to control something some of the time, but not all the time.
So there is no free will or like a karma, or it's something in between. Because you have a will, but there's no free will, in other words. But there is some will. I mean, you have intentions, so there's a will, but there's no free will.
What do you mean by free will? No, you don't have to pay for it.
The free will means it's not consequence of you can change everything by your whatever the way you want to change, free will. But there's nothing called, it's in essence total free will. Because
you cannot change everything. You can change something some of the time.
Some of the time.
You cannot change your body. You cannot make your body younger.
There is intention, but no absolute will, right? In other words. So you can change something, in other words.
Intention, there is intention, but there is good or bad intentions. intention that can cause you dukkha or intention that can suppress your dukkha. That's more important.
I see. Thank you, Bante. Yeah. Other thing is like this, the Nama-rupa business. Nama-rupa is consciousness in the Buddha talk about in the sutra. It's like two stacks of bamboo. Like if you take one, other one will fall. So they are interdependent. So if you go deeper, the four elements like is a rupa, right? I think you discussed briefly before. And the nama, it's fed by external like food to keep it going. Otherwise, rupa cannot survive. Rupa will change unless you keep feeding. But that's the element of feeding of the aggregates, like to keep it going, the four elements. But nama or consciousness also has to be there to feed. If the consciousness is cut off, the rupa cannot survive. That's also another feeding for the rupa. Is it? Does it make sense? I know.
Well, whenever the mind is disconnected from the body, then the body cannot exist. The body can exist. And the survival of the body also dependent on the connection to the mind.
So it's feeding. It's also feeding in a way, different way, as not as food, but it's a mental food. Like it's like the consciousness food, food of perception, food of feeling, but not the solid food. Like olara.
I don't know. I
think it did.
Sorry. So it's
okay.
It cannot survive.
The mind can survive by itself, but not the body.
Can survive by itself. Yes.
The mind, when the body dies, the mind continue on. See, but if the mind somehow should disconnect from the body, then the body will not be able to survive on its own, because it depends on the mind to be the one to look after it. See, the mind is the one who tells the body when to eat, when to exercise, when to do things. But when there's no somebody to tell the body what to do, the body just becomes a corpse.
What element of the mind survives? Like, mind is just not one element.
The four nama khandha survives. Vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana.
All four, not only consciousness.
All four. All four. That's why when you form a new body, you have these other four working at.
So it is not only consciousness, like a stream of consciousness, but there is perception, the feeling, all survives.
Yes, it goes with the knowing of the mind.
So that's why you can recall maybe previous births, because you have the
the
perceptions, your memories intact.
And your like and dislike also go with your nama rupa, nama khandha. Yes, your habit, everything, your karma, your good or bad karma goes with the mind.
So the karma, that's why the karma survives. You have to pay it back. In other words, whatever you've done in the past, it's embedded in your perception, in the mind, the memories.
And it also influences your new action. If you used to drink, you will continue go on drinking again in your next life.
Yeah. So you practice Dhamma, you can keep continuing practicing Dhamma.
That's right.
Opposite.
Good or bad go with you. Good or bad habit go with you.
So
good
these are the
good habit we call parami.
Parami.
Like loving kindness, charity, this go with you. If you used to be a charitable person, you will continue to be a charitable person in your next life.
Next life.
But if you like vices, if you like gambling, you like going to bars and
drinking,
you continue on your next life the same way.
Okay, maybe I become a gardener next time because I love growing.
You'll probably become a doctor more than a gardener. Because I know you don't want to be a gardener because you know the pay is not as good as being a doctor. But you take up gardening because on your spare time.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn. Thanajan, one quick question. You said about the arahats, one way you can know is when they pass away, their bones become a certain form.
Stone or relics, because they call relics, but they actually are precious stones. You know, they look like precious stones.
So I read this book. It's about, I might pronounce it, the 10 Precept Nun. Is it Kai or Ki? I can't remember, pronounce the name properly, but I read the book and it says in the book, I think she was a student of...
Mechi.
Yes, Mechika. And same way, after she passed, her bones, they said was...
Turned into relics already.
Yes.
Some fragment of a bone, not the whole bone itself.
Not the whole, some fragment, yes.
That's because she been around for a long time.
Yes.
Before her death.
Yes.
That gives the pure mind to purify the body, the bones, to turn into relics very quickly.
Okay. So, thank you so much.
We have a person called Chanisa from NK. Do you want to speak? Chanisa.
Today, just come to listen for English version. I have no question.
Okay. You were with your son this morning, right?
Yes. Now we stay in Ayutthaya Hotel, waiting for tomorrow flight at midnight. So I'm not so sure whether I can listen to tomorrow Zoom meeting or not. So today I come here to listen first.
Okay. Have a good trip home.
Thank you very much.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now he already slept because today we went to we came from Pattaya and then go to Wat Sakar in Ayutthaya and then go around here and then now the power off.
Yeah, it's a long day for him. Started quite early this morning.
Yes.
Giving food to moms.
Yes, thank you so much. And
okay, see you maybe next week. Next week you can join the Zoom meeting again.
Thank you so much, Ajaan.
Okay. I'll go to Dean now from London.
Good evening, Ajaan. I have two simple questions to ask. During meditation, there are times when there are strong emotions of gratitude arising from recognizing receiving Buddha's teaching. This causes strong motivation to practice further. But sometimes the response was just to notice it arise and pass away. Question is, are emotions such as gratitude considered defilements? Should I ignore it and should I ignore it the moment it appears?
Well, it depends whether it is beneficial to you or not. If it's beneficial, then you should nurture it. Okay. But if it's harmful, then you should forget it.
Okay, Ajahn. There is a second simple question, practical questions. Outside of meditation, in daily activities, I monitor closely to train my conduct and actions, considering what I do and don't do and the reasons. Is this close to what Buddha teaches about conduct? Are there other supportive methods to sharpen conduct and mindful actions?
Well, there are many different ways of doing things, but you choose the one that you find it useful to you, and you can do it. So, but I cannot say other things because you have to ask me what.
Okay, I don't have specific question regarding this, but this is I just want to check with you. That's all. Thank you, Ajahn.
Usually, you just use that's a rule of thumb. Whatever you do, it should not hurt other people.
Yeah,
it should be beneficial toward other people.
Yes,
and then you do it. You just consider this every time you do something. Think of the consequence, whether it's harmful to other people or not, whether it's beneficial or not. So if it's harmful, don't do it. If it's beneficial, do it.
Yes, I'm careful about this, not to harm and
Yeah.
benefit other people. If not, just restrain myself if I'm not sure.
That's right. If you're not sure, then don't do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Aparajita Ghosh from Dubai.
Good evening, Ajahn. Good evening. I thought last meeting you had said like don't just contemplate, to spend time in meditation, and I have been, and yes, so that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you have to balance between these two, contemplation and meditation, because the mind needs time to rest also. Because contemplation is working for the mind. Just like the body, you go to work, then you have to come home and take a rest, eat and sleep. And when you wake up, you will feel refreshed and be strengthened, then you go back to work again. Same way with contemplation and meditation. When you feel that you're tired of contemplation, then you should stop and then rest in meditation. Stop the mind from thinking. And after the mind come out of meditation, it will feel strengthened. Then you can continue on with your contemplation again.
Yeah. So that's great. So it's kind of a
And the goal of your contemplation is to get rid of your defilement, your greed, hate, and delusion. Okay.
And I also want to thank you because my mother was here, and thanks to all your advice, I would say I had all my old stuff, and this time I felt very loving towards her when I said bye to her, and it was really lovely. So thank you for your practical advice as well.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, we'll go to Indonesia. Evie. Okay,
Hello,
Evie.
Ajahn. Still no question, Ajahn.
No
Thank
question.
you. Yeah,
Okay, good to see you.
yeah, Ajahn. Thank you.
I'll go to Suland then. Suland from Singapore.
Yeah. Hello, Ajahn. Nice to see you again. Sorry, I'm late today. I just came back from work.
Can you speak louder?
Oh, hello, Ajahn. Can you hear me?
Yeah, better now.
Oh, how are you feeling?
What are you saying?
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I just came back from work, so yeah, that's why I'm late. So sorry.
Okay, you have no question tonight.
Yeah, maybe want to listen to Ajahn, yeah, and get some peace from listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think now it's time to go to Facebook for more questions. Do you have any questions from Facebook or YouTube?
Yes, there are 6 questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์. The first 2 questions from Lee Tek Hua. May I know what is the actual definitions of Sangha? Does it only refer to the communities of monks and nuns? Does it include lay people who are serious Dhamma practitioners? Thank you.
Well, like we said earlier on, Sangha can be defined in 2 ways, I guess. If you're talking about the triple gem, then the Sangha means the noble disciple. And noble disciple doesn't have to be only monks, because anyone who has attained to the Sotapanna level, whether as a monk or as a lay person, is considered to be a Sangha, or noble disciple. But on the mundane level, the Sangha can mean the community of monks or bhikkhu, like me. if there are 4 of us living together, it's called Sangha. 4 monks living together can form a Sangha, a quorum to do some action together by reciting the Patimokkha, listening to the Patimokkha, or doing some other activities. Like if one wants to be ordained in Thailand, you have to have at least 10 months, a Sangha of 10 months to be able to ordain a person as a monk, to become a monk. So this is another definition of Sangha. Sangha in which you have to have a certain amount of months to do a certain amount of activity, a certain kind of activity.
And the second question from Lee Tek Hua. Is it true that if we attain any of the 4 stages of enlightenment, we have to keep it a secret and are not supposed to tell anyone about it? Thank you.
Well, why do you want to tell anybody about it? If there's no reason to tell, then there's no need to, because you could be suspected of whether you are really actually attaining it or not. Because who can tell you whether what you have attained? Who can prove it to you, to other people? So sometimes it's better to keep quiet, unless there's a strong reason for you to say so.
And next questions from Sochit Chim. Ajaan, I know that there are 2 Vedana, one outside mind and another inside mind. How to eliminate Vedana inside mind?
Well, now there are 2 Vedana, 2 types of feelings. One is physical based feeling, like feeling that come from the body. Like when you have a stomach ache, when you're hungry, this is physical based feeling, Vedana. And there's also a mental based Vedana, feeling when you think about something you don't like, you can start to have bad feeling already. When you think about something you like, you have good feeling. So this is physical, this is mental based feeling. So there are 2 types of feeling, one physical and one mental.
Next 2 questions from Un. Hi Ajaan, I'm Bun from Penang, Malaysia. Ajaan, please explain and share Ajaan experience regarding questions below. The first question, my friend who are senior citizen and expert in Dhamma text said many years ago he stopped offering dana to monks because offer dana merit is little compared to practice meditation as written in one of sutta. Can Ajaan explain this thinking is middle part or not middle part?
Well, it's like studying, see. You go through the kindergarten, then you move up to the elementary, secondary level, and then you move up to the university level. So if you're practicing meditation, then you don't need to do the dana, because sometimes doing the dana can come into conflict with your meditation practice. Because when you meditate full time, you want to be alone, you want to be in seclusion. So you don't want to come out and do dana. This is the case when you're like a full-time meditator, and you don't want to come involve in contact with other people. So you can start doing dana and concentrate on your meditation practice only.
And second question is, if practice meditation merits is more as written in sutta compare offer dana, but the lay people can't calm his or her own monkey mind or enter jhana state when sitting meditation, are these considered can get more merits compared to offer dana for Sangha group? Thank you.
Well, if you cannot yet practice meditation, then you should rely on the merit from giving dana, because your mind needs some merit to maintain a healthy mind, a happy mind. So if you cannot be happy from meditation, then you should be happy from giving dana instead.
And last questions from Yato. Good night, Ajaan. I saw a senior monk who does a blessing at a new home or place of business. After that, the monk writes a mantra or yan on the door of the house and place of business. Is what the monk does right and not breaking the precept or not? Thank you.
It's not wrong or right. It's just something that people believe in. To bless the house, you have to write something on the door, just to protect evil spirit from coming into the house or something. That's all. So it's just a customary practice by Thai Buddhists. Buddhists tend to have some other belief besides believing in the triple gem. They also believe in some. I'm not sure where this belief comes from, whether it's from Hindu or from other religion. Sometimes they are absorbed into Thai Buddhism also.
That's
Okay.
Yes.
That's all from Facebook. Anybody else would like to ask any question? You can raise your hand and unmute. Okay, Willie from Indonesia.
Yes, Ajaan. A follow-up question about Sotapanna. I would like to ask, is the ability for Sotapanna not to break any precepts is due to because he or she has overcome the fear of death and physical painful feeling?
I'm not sure whether that is part of it or not, but he sees clearly that by doing bad karma is like getting a hammer and hitting on your head. You don't want to hit your head with a hammer, right? So you don't want to hurt your mind with your bad karma. Because every time you do a bad karma, it hurts your mind right away.
Okay. So it is not necessary like, if let's say we have not overcome the fear of death or physical painful feeling, then there is a possibility that we might break the precepts.
No, I think it's because you see clearly that the bad karma is like hitting your head with a hammer.
Okay, so it's more because of the effect of the mind that
That's right.
Sotapanna will not break.
See, the Sotapanna can see the effect, while ordinary people like us cannot see it yet because our mindfulness isn't strong enough to reach the mind yet to see clearly the consequence of bad karma affecting the mind, like a Sotapanna.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay, Philip.
Ajaan, this is also related to the whole question about karma that this whole session has been going on. So for a normal person which is not enlightened, if he has or if she has done bad karma previously and it has taken effect in this life, would it continue perpetually, or once it's paid off is done, or is because of the actions that you do not know that this bad karma, let's say for example, if you've stolen something and then you steal back and then maybe you hit the person, you kill the guy, and you create the additional karma, and it goes continue and continue and continue.
No, once the consequence take effect, then that karma is neutralized, no longer take no any effect. But you have many other bad karmas waiting in line, so or good karma, dependent on what you do.
So for a noble enlightened being, which Ravin has mentioned that he or she doesn't fall into the willful planes, is because the Sotapanna or the noble beings have not created condition for all these bad karmas to arise. Is it correct? Because they know the consequences of doing bad karmas, or what they say, hitting your head with a hammer.
This is on the new karma, but on the old karma that he already done in the past, he has the braking system to stop it from taking effect.
So he has not created the conditions for it to arise, right?
Maybe so, because the mind always is fully under control. See? So whatever bad effect that contained in the mind cannot take effect or show itself up.
So, for example, I mean, when he sees maybe it's a simplistic understanding, is that he potentially sees that he could have created a bad karma coming, he'll just avoid it or stop it or move somewhere else. To
Well,
prevent.
see, you can stop the mind. See. Once you can stop the mind, then the mind cannot be affected by the good or bad karma. Cannot push the mind one way or the other. If you can stop the mind.
Understand.
To remain still.
Understand. Understand.
So if you can keep the mind in ubeka all the time, then nothing can move it.
Understand.
Okay.
Yes, understand. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Oh, Aparajita.
Sorry, it's the same thing we are talking about. I just wanted to confirm that does the Buddha say that it's just that you won't be born in the lower realms? That means, because if you're born, that means you have no chance of encountering the Dhamma. So in a sense, if the Sotapanna has kind of got a taste, they don't have a will to change it, but they've kind of created some kind of mind pattern which will take them naturally in a different direction. I mean, it's not about karma. I'm sure they'll get the consequences of karma, but the reason they get born, would it be something like that?
Well, the force that pushed the mind to go to the lower realm cannot work, because the Sotapanna has the mindfulness and wisdom to stop it from working. But a Sotapanna, if he hasn't yet reached Nibbana, he will still reborn as human. And then he can still reap the consequence of his bad karma physically. If he met somebody, he did something wrong in the past life, that somebody can then do something bad to him. See? But his mind will not be affected. His mind will just say, accept that this is the consequence of his bad karma, and not feeling any suffering from it, from having to face the consequence.
Okay, great. Thank you.
As long as you're still born as a human being, you will still have to reap the consequence of your good or bad karma. Only after you have reached Nibbana and you don't take any more rebirth, your good or bad karma in the past will not take effect and hurt your body anymore, or your mind for that matter. Okay, B. Ravin.
Yes, Prajan, again on this topic again. Just for clarification, since Buddhism is projected to only last for 5,000 years, if a Sotapanna was to die and be reborn in an era where there was no Buddhist teachings available, would this mean he would still be able to teach himself towards Nibbana?
Yes. He still uses the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path to continue on with his practice.
So regardless of when he's born, there's no Buddhist teaching, he can still get to Nibbana on his own.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Because he has entered the stream that will push him toward Nibbana. Sotapanna means the stream enter, the stream toward Nibbana.
Understood. Thank you, Prajan.
Okay, anybody else?
Dean.
Dean, okay.
Ajaan, in line with what was discussed, I want to ask the 5 khandhas, there's sanya, the perception. And earlier on was talking about the 4 parts, the 4 of the khandhas will follow to the other lives. Is the practice of samadhi leading to panya a process of purifying the sanya part, the perception part, meaning transforming the sanya into panya? And
just some part of it, not everything, not all of it. Just the part that deal with anicca, dukkha, anatta. But the other part is that remain intact, like your like or dislike. Some people like red color, some people like black color. This go with it. This don't change because it doesn't have any bad effect on the mind. But the perception of anicca, dukkha, anatta, this will have to be replaced. The perception of permanence, the perception of self, the perception of happiness, of things from this world. These are the wrong perception that has to be changed.
I'm so glad I asked you this. I'm really very glad because it wasn't clear until you explained. Thank you, Ajaan.
All right. Anybody else? Sulan, okay. You have to speak louder. It's hard to hear you. I understand what you're talking.
Ajaan, can you hear me?
Okay.
Thank you, Ajaan. Yeah, my question is that I wanted to ask about the pavilion in Wat Yen. Like I saw on Wikipedia that it says each of the pavilion kind of represent like
I don't understand what you're talking about. Your sound sort of come on and off.
Oh, okay.
Speak louder. Speak louder.
Oh, okay. Let me try. Maybe I change to my earpiece and see if it works. Maybe let someone else to ask the question.
You want to sit? You want to speak? You want to talk?
Oh, yes.
We're waiting for you, Sulan. Okay. Will just came in. Will, you want to say something?
Hi, Ajaan, just to say thank you very much for receiving these questions and how much I appreciate what you do, and I'd very much enjoy attending these classes. I think the only question I have is whether it's possible to receive the Tisarana from you at any time.
Well, actually, you don't have to receive from anybody. You can, once you know what the triple gem is, then you just take it up, that's all. You don't need a monk to give it to you, really. A monk just tell you or teach you what the triple gem is. That's what really the purpose of a monk. A monk is a teacher to explain to you what the triple gem is. But once you already know what the triple gem is, then there is no need for you to go take the triple gem from anybody else, because you already know. You know the Buddha, you know the Dhamma, his teaching, and you know the noble disciple. Then you just follow their teaching. That's all. That's what the purpose of taking the triple gem is about.
Is it possible to sedang abat with a monk?
Do what with the monk? To study with the monk?
Just to explain offences, I think you used the word sedang abat in Thai.
This for monks only, not for. Well, you can. Lay people can also, if it feels good for you to to confess your sin or something, but it's just so that you can feel better and that you are not concealing it and you come face to face with it, accept your fault and try not to do it again. That's the purpose of sedang abat, confessing your sin.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very much for receiving me, Bhante.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. All right. Anybody else? We still have just a few more minutes left before.
Sulan again.
Sulan?
Yeah, sorry, Ajahn. I
Yeah,
was
that sound
changing
better.
my
That sound
device.
better.
Yeah, I think it sounds better. I was trying to fix my device just now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the question I have is on the 8 pavilions in Wat Yen. I understand from Wikipedia that each of the pavilion like represents a country, it seems. And
Yes.
then like, so is it for like people from that country to go and visit that pavilion?
Oh no, it's just being built by people from each different countries. See, one Swiss family built a Swiss pavilion. One Indian family built an Indian pavilion, and there are 2 Chinese family or communities that built 2 Chinese pavilions.
Oh, I see.
I think one from Singapore. One Chinese pavilion was built by a Chinese from Singapore.
Wow.
And we have one Japanese pavilion built by the Japanese community living in Thailand, something like that.
I see. Yeah.
And we have 3 Thai pavilions built by the Thai supporters of the Supreme Patriarch, of the admirer of the king. So they build them in according to their national architecture.
Oh, that's very nice.
So it's just something to commemorate the king's 60th birthday. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Ajahn, for explaining to me. Yeah. Oh, I have another question also.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently I saw this video on how like there was a monk in China like many years ago that he and a few other monks went to in search of the Buddha's teachings, and then like they traveled by foot and then like go to like all the way to India, and then by then like they realized that the teachings in like the neighboring country has already lost the Buddha's words, and it was mainly based on like it wasn't the pure Dharma. Yeah. Then after that, the monk actually traveled very far away, and then eventually found the Buddha's teaching, and then that's how eventually I think the lineage in Sri Lanka was also planted the seed. Yeah. So it was in this book called the historic Buddhist kingdoms. Yeah. Then along the way, I like the monk said that the group actually became smaller and smaller because people gave up trying to search for the Buddha's teachings, because they believe that this place is where the real teaching is. But then eventually only one monk kind of persisted. So when I saw the video, I felt like the reason why the noble ones can like be noble is because they have a lot of perseverance and determination. Like they really hold faith in that one aim that they have. Then I felt that I am very, very far away from that because I just don't have that kind of perseverance, and it's quite discouraging. I feel very, it feels like a very impossible thing. Yeah, I don't know how I should feel about it. Yeah.
You should feel that everything always start at the beginning. So if you don't have anything right now, you can start building it up from now on. So eventually you will have a lot of perseverance and a lot of strength to do what other noble disciples do. But you have to start doing it now. And just be patient. Takes time. Maybe take a few lifetimes. Maybe 7 lifetimes, or 10,000 lifetimes, whatever. But as long as you keep doing it, you will eventually one day reach your goal. Think it in terms like this, so you won't be discouraged.
Okay, I shall adopt this thinking. Yeah.
Just like I think Mao Zedong said that 1,000-mile trip start with one step. Start with the first step. Okay, just keep walking. You'll eventually reach the 10,000 miles.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're running out of time
Thank you,
for tonight.
Ajahn. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everybody for your participation. I hope this meeting will benefit you and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
กราบสาธุเจ้าค่ะ
กราบสาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Ajahn.
for your
Good
wisdom.
luck, everyone.
Thank you, admin.
Bye.
ไปค่ะ